Microsoft, now keep in mind, this is coming from somebody that doesn't even own Microsoft stock. But I've got to say this for Microsoft stock. This is the perfect stock for this sort of market. Fairly low risk, right? It's like recession, no recession, doesn't matter. Like Microsoft's business is going to continue to chug along. Slower environment, faster environment, doesn't matter, right? So it's somewhat de-risked from that perspective. The multiple's in line with what it's kind of been at in the past, if not a little lower. So it's not like you have some multiple crazy, oh my gosh, it's at some crazy forward P, right? If this is a stock that's at a 60 or 70 forward P, I feel very different about it, right? Being at, I think we're probably at a forward P on this one of 28, 29, something like that. I mean, that's not crazy at all for a business model that's as stable as theirs. And then if you get upside, and let's say things do get better over the next year or two, Microsoft's going to do well in that environment as well. So it's kind of the perfect stock for this market right now. And I think that's why it's traded so well. You know, so many stocks got so heavily damaged, and Microsoft got hit last year, but it didn't get hit the way Meta got hit, or Amazon, or many of these other stocks. It's very, very different the way that one was treated versus others. And I think that's why it's just, in this market, it's pretty much the perfect stock. One of the things we do in the private group quite a bit is we'll run projections and go through different projection scenarios for stocks. And I have different projections for stocks out there, Tesla projections and Amazon and many different stocks. And I go through a super bearish case, a bearish case, kind of like a base case, right? A super bullish case and a bullish case and a super bullish case. And through those 5 scenarios, I can kind of figure out, is a stock trading at a good value or not, right? And that's something that you've got to be able to do with companies that you're thinking about owning or you do own, is run through these different scenarios and go through it and be like, am I getting a good deal? And so with a Mr. Softy, you got to be able to run your projections, put together your model here and say, you know what? Mr. Softy's at a very fair value. I got to start adding shares to this. And if it goes down, I'll buy more. And if it goes to this price, I'll buy even more, right? And if it goes up, great. What am I going to stop buying it at? But that's how you really run this game. To just hope, oh, maybe it'll go lower. It's not a good strategy. That's all I'm going to say about that. It's not a good strategy. You've got to. Absolutely gotta be able to run projections and say, I feel confident about buying this stock here because it's at this valuation, and I believe it's going to go to this valuation because this is where I think their net income's going over the next few years based upon my different scenarios I've ran here. It's very, very important. It's the biggest position for me in the public count, right? Which, you know, is almost a $400,000 position, $381,000 as of today, right? Tomorrow, as of the open, we should be up $30,000 to $50,000 on the open tomorrow, right? It could be up more than that. I don't know. We'll see. But I'm expecting like a $30,000 to $50,000 move in this one tomorrow. Now, am I interested in selling this one at all? Okay. And my answer to that is absolutely not. Okay. Absolutely not. The bottom line is Meta's trading at, let's say, roughly a 20-ish forward P right now. Why would I sell a company that owns 3 of the most important platforms in the world? Obviously Facebook Messenger, you can make an argument for if you want to say Facebook and Facebook Messenger are 2 separate things, right? WhatsApp and Instagram, I can't even conceive of selling a company like that at a 20p with still a founder who's getting into the prime of his business career. Remember, Zuckerberg's just barely entering the prime of his business career, right? Which the prime of your business career is usually between about age 40 and about age 60. He's just entering that age. He was just a baby, when this company went public. He's just entering the prime of his career. And he doesn't seem like he's leaving Meta anytime soon. So with a balance sheet in the place it is, with this sort of business model, and think about the metaverse opportunity, right? VR, AR, as well as AI opportunity. Let's say the artificial intelligence, the AR and the VR doesn't work out, the metaverse opportunity. Let's just say that, which I think there's a low probability that I think there's only about a 25% chance that would happen. I think there's a 75% chance they're going to be super successful in this market. So let's say the 25% probability comes in, and let's say a year from now, 2 years from now, like, you know what, we're not going to spend any more on this, we're not going to do this, we can't do this, whatever. Okay, they're spending over $1 billion a month on this. So if they were to cut that out, that's over $1 billion a month straight to the bottom line. So this is a no-lose situation. If they get the technology right and they can obviously grow this into a massive business, which I think, like I said, I think is about 75% probability they do that, right? We're talking about this is the next multi-$100 billion opportunity. So great, they all capture that. And if it doesn't work out, then it's just massive amount more money to the bottom line because they can cut out all that expense and all those employees that are working on that right now, right? So when you think about this from that context, I mean, it's a win either way. So for me, in regards to Meta, not even a company I can think about selling at this point in time. No. Okay, very, very happy with this one. Very happy overall with those earnings. And I'm expecting actually strengthening stock price throughout the year. Could I see Meta at 300 plus by the end of the year? I think it's actually a possibility. I really do. I really, really do. I mean, I don't know what could even get in its way, even if there's more recessionary talk. I mean, we're already in a slower business environment anyways. And with their cost-cutting measures and what that's going to have play out, I think their net income's headed in the right direction no matter what. In terms of the metaverse, right? This is something Facebook, Meta's spending a fortune on right now, Zuckerberg, right? This is bad, okay? Revenue went from $534 million in Q1 21 to then almost $700 million in Q1 22 to they only did $339 million of Reality Labs revenue in this latest quarter, okay? That's awful. Absolutely awful, okay? Now, what that shows me that their newest product is a flop, which does not come as any surprise to me. I expected that product to flop. When I saw kind of the specs, when I saw the reviews and the price point of $1,500, I was like, this isn't gonna do well, okay? And sure enough, they've dropped price by $500. I believe you can get one of those Meta Quest Pros on Amazon or from Meta themselves for I think $999 now at this point in time. So they dropped $500 off the price. But at the end of the day, it's still too high of a price for I think most folks to consider something like that at this point in time. Maybe in 5 or 10 years, people don't mind spending $1,500 or even $1,000 on one of these headsets. But right now, the technology is not quite there. The applications aren't quite there to justify spending that sort of money unless somebody really just wants to be on the forefront of technology. Now, the good news is there's something big coming here from Meta, okay? And in my opinion, this is going to be very big for Meta, and you're going to see a massive boost up in their Reality Labs revenue here, and that is Quest 3. This product will probably be shown off, I would say, either late this summer or early fall time in terms of the Quest 3. This should be a headset that comes under $500, and this should do very well in the marketplace. I mean, very well. This should be by far and away their number one selling headset they've ever had, and I think it's going to be by quite a large margin. And this should be the first, I think this would be the first headset to be considered by more of the masses than, let's just call it, previous headsets. Do I think they're going to put up some, crazy volume like, I don't know, selling 100 million of these or something like that? No. Okay, no. But in terms of by far and away their clearest, biggest success they've ever had, I think this is going to be it. There's no doubt in my mind in regards to that. And there's another big thing that's going to help Meta in a massive way, okay? And that is Apple is getting ready to launch their mixed reality headset. Now, if you don't know that much about business, let's say, for instance, right? You're not that experienced. You might say, wait a minute, Apple's going to come in this market. That's got to be bad for Meta, right? No. We're going to play a little chess here, okay? If we know one thing, we know Meta is not good at marketing physical products, okay? And getting excitement around something like that. It's not that sort of company. They don't have that DNA. What is Apple better at than any other company maybe in the history of mankind? It's generating hype and excitement about a physical product, okay? That's what Apple does. And so I can tell you, Apple coming in this space legitimizes a space finally, and this is the best thing ever for Meta, okay? Because Meta needs help in generating buzz and talk and conversation around this space. And they can't do it by themselves because this company doesn't know how to market like that. Apple does know how to market like that. They are the best. They are the creme de la creme. So the bottom line is the day Apple steps in this space and announces a product is the greatest day ever for Meta when it comes to their metaverse opportunity. Because then all of a sudden the masses have to at least start to consider about, what's this thing, Apple's up to here, okay? And so I don't really care if somebody buys an Apple headset or a Meta headset in the short term. The bottom line is we just got to generate more excitement in the space. That's the bottom line with that, okay? I don't know if the smartphone space ever would have taken off as big and as quickly as it did if it wasn't for Apple. Just to put it quite simply like that, in my personal opinion. So this is phenomenal news in my personal opinion in regards to this, okay? I think Zuckerberg realized he's made a mistake. Not in terms of exploring the metaverse opportunity, but being so public about it and being so in your face about it. Because if there's one thing we learned from Apple, Apple's ingenious about this. They spend silly money, billions and billions and billions of dollars on R&D, right? No one knows what Apple's working on. They don't. They assume they're probably working on the next generation of iPads and the next generation of iPhones and the next generation of MacBooks and blah, 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 right? But they're also working on a bunch of products that they're hopefully going to launch someday, and they might not, right? And so they're always spending this money, but Zuckerberg went the route of, we're going to publicly announce what we're working on and all this stuff, rather than just kind of keep it on the DL and be like, we're spending this money on some big stuff we're going after. And it's his approach, and it's fine. But I'm just telling you, like, I think he's learned that let's not talk about it as much. Let's just work on it. Let's perfect the technology. Let's get it ready to rock and roll for prime time, which I think the Quest 3 is going to be massive for this company. But I think that's kind of the approach there. Like, let's just chill.